In this video, let's do a poetry analysis and a reaction of Neil Young's Heart of Gold, and it's one of my favorite all-time songs. I've been listening to it for many, many years, and in this video, we're going to focus on the poetry because the poetry actually feels really strong, but it's really, you're going to see, is because there's just one line that's particularly strong, and it's emphasized by and brought out by the music, but the whole song, it's not like a fantastic poem if it had to stand on its own, like Mr. Tambourine Man by Bob Dylan. Like, that's a fantastic poem on its own. Perhaps maybe even better as just a poem, stronger, because the poetry is just so strong. But here we're going to look at how you can create a song and imagery in the song in a completely different way. And also I'll show you a very common misunderstanding and misinterpretation of this song, Heart of Gold by Neil Young, because everybody knows this song. It's a very popular song. People think, oh, I'm going through life searching for a heart of gold, like to meet somebody else who has a heart of gold. But we'll see that maybe he's searching for his own heart of gold too. Let's look at the lyrics. The lyrics are written in 3 parts. Usually in songs there's like choruses, verses. Here there's like really 3 main parts. So let's just go through it and read it. I want to live, I want to give. Here, you actually get a sense that it's not just about finding a person who has a heart of gold. Sure, that's great. We all want that. But, he's been a miner for a heart of gold and he wants to give. Like, maybe he's mining inside himself also, because to find someone who has a heart of gold, you have to have one yourself first. You have to bring that out in someone else. In a fairy tale, yes, let's find somebody with a heart of gold, but I think in real life, you have to have a heart of gold in order to have that back and forth adult relationship, right? So I think this is a layer that people miss in the song. So he's been a miner for his heart of gold, and his expressions I never give keep me searching for a heart of gold, and he's getting old. A little sad here, and I think all of us face this issue. We're getting old. He was 26 when he wrote the song, and I think no matter what age you are, you feel like you're getting old. Just how it works, I guess. And pretty much just repeats, it's very chorusy, repeating, and I'm getting old, keeps me searching for a heart of gold, and there's not a lot of unique lyrics in this big chunk of text. So actually we can just move on to the second part of the song. The second part of the song talks about all he's done. He's been to Hollywood, he's been to Redwood. Redwood is, forest, nature, kind of hippie. Hollywood is maybe the contrast is, the superficial celebrity kind of thing. Then I crossed the ocean for a heart of gold. And in his mind, it's been such a fine line. Like, maybe, we all second guess ourselves. Like, sometimes you just want to quit. Sometimes you think it's not going to happen. Sometimes there's self-doubt. Sometimes you don't know, like, how much mining of yourself can you do? Are you done, right? There's all this human element that you just never sure. And that's an interesting line here. It's not completely clear. It's a little ambiguous. It's such a fine line. Like, but that fine line keeps him searching for a heart of gold, and is getting old, and then it just repeats everything, right? So there is not a lot of lyrics. Like, it's not new lyric heavy. It's not a lot of real poetry, but the one idea that I think people fall in love with here is that I've been searching for a heart of gold in someone else. That misinterpretation. And I think that's really easy to fall in love with that idea. But we're coming to an interesting thing, because in part 3, there's a line here that's a little surprising, and it's a little subtle, so a lot of people miss it. You hear it, but you don't quite pay attention to it. So part 3, keep me searching for a heart of gold, and it's the first time in the next line where he's going to say you keep me searching. Who is this you? The whole song was about him. This is the first mention of you. So there is another person. It could be interpreted that that person keeping him searching for a heart of gold, meaning like he has to move on from that person with whom he's with now, because that person is not enough. That's one interpretation. Another interpretation, which I think is the main and accurate interpretation, And by the way, that first interpretation that I just mentioned, I think that's the most common interpretation and misunderstood. But I think the accurate misinterpretation is that there is a perfect someone that he's in a relationship with, and that person keeps him searching for a heart of gold in himself. Isn't that beautiful? Right? Because yes, it's sure, we can all selfishly say, hey, we are pretty much perfect, or at least pretty much good enough, and we just need to find somebody else who will do all the work. You, the other person, be perfect. But that's not really the song. The song is like, well, I found someone so amazing that I need to search deeper for a heart of gold inside myself so I can give that to them. I think that's wisdom, because going through life searching for a heart of gold in somebody else will lead to a bunch of disappointment, a bunch of failure, and you're going to get old. And it's going to be ironic that this song is about that. But actually, in some way, finding someone of whom you don't ask to be perfect, but with whom you ask yourself to be perfect for them, that's really amazing. And actually, this way, you don't get old as much, ironically, because that actually keeps your love young and keeps yourself young. So actually, this poem has two interpretations, very different. I think 90% of the people out there interpret it like searching for love out of somebody else, heart of gold in somebody else, it would be amazing, but it's a kind of a fail, right? You're setting yourself up to fail, and it's not fair to other people necessarily to have that expectation. But it's interesting if you search for a heart of gold inside yourself and never stop until you get old. So that's the poetry analysis of this song, and I'll have the link to the original in the description of this video. And also, of course, in the description of this video, I'll have the link to my own original playlist of my own songs, because of course we have to read and understand the greats, the Bob Dylans, the Neil Youngs, so that we can write our own. And so, of course, humbly, I try to write my own. Mine is not as good, obviously, but I'd appreciate it if you still took a listen. Maybe there's still something there you can like. And of course, I'll also have a link to my poetry book in the description of the video as well, and a whole bunch of interesting things as well. So thank you for listening, and thank you for watching, and see you in my next video.